Okay, I need to know if I can hear myself all right. Um, I'm back at my mom's crib. Um, it was a long journey back home up from, you know, I'm sorry, I'm about to have a breakdown. It was actually a really traumatic experience up from where I was living at for these past couple of weeks back up to my mom's house. I still have um a lot of things I own back up at that place. And I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I'm going to have to contact the lady I lived with to help ship my stuff, my clothes back, everything, and then figure something. But up until then, I'm actually under a tremendous amount of stress, and usually recording everything helps me get the stress out, you know. I feel like with the development of technology going on right now, especially the use of artificial intelligence, I'm able to get my thoughts out more efficiently with the use of it. Because let's be for real, with the current use of social media, where it's like our brain circuits are literally fried to the point of not being able to form a thought with common sense in this generation. And it's very, very prevalent, bro. Because now all we are feeding our visual sensory with is imagery, and the type of imagery or like videos that are not necessarily going to feed your brain the right way, but chemically fuck up your brain a little bit more. And I'm actually really scared for this generation because I think this might be the start of um, um, being extremely useless to the point of this same AI that helped me form a video essay taking over everything, and then we actually end up as zombified, useless humans because you cannot form a thought. You did not pay attention in class like you were supposed to. So here we are. So I got this computer right in the back. Um, let's say about 6 months ago. Wait a minute. A little bit more than that, but practically I was still in high school at that time. I had a job. It was cool. It was chill. My coworkers were chill. Being Ghanaian, if you know, most of us were practically just really chill and a vibe, and we have a lot of fun. You feel me? So it was a really good work environment. The only problem I had was this is the part where we get to everything being embarrassing. Practically, I'm extremely sheltered to the point of having my mom drop me off all the time because she's kind of like in this panicky motherly state where like I felt like I still had to be babied or infantilized and spoiled, but I'm still doing everything the right way as much as I can, whether it's like doing the chores or the assignments, which wasn't easy because high school in America and the DMV where I am at, where I'm at right now. I don't know how I was able to do it, but I got that diploma and I'm proud of myself and I'm still moving on with life. You feel me? Ignore my shirt. I'm just your practical everyday girl in her house just chilling. Except I'm a little cuckoo in the head. So let's get on with this video essay I made, and the lighting might be kind of off due to, not having proper equipment yet for filming. But what matters is I'm still using my voice regardless, and I'm not trying to lose myself to the point of insanity. You know what? Artificial intelligence has actually been used to the point of helping people figure out and navigate life like what we need help from a community or our own parents. AI actually did help me navigate throughout high school at some certain point, whether it was being my tutor, whether it was being my friend or my therapist. And I think previous classes that graduated didn't really have that, and they're actually more cognitively stronger than us, this generation. I think we're actually so weak, and you can't really blame us, but it's whatever. So here's my little vent out, because I'm just keeping it as real as I can. So I asked for like therapy. At the end of the day, I might have bro code here and there, but I'm still just practically a bitch. You feel me? My dad claimed to be patching my life up by sending me up to the military, and then I continuously just kept failing this ASVAB test. Like, I actually took it, was like, fine, I'm going to do this. And it ended up, to a point where even on a road trip, he wanted to lock me up at a psych ward, but then took me into the house, which we were practically couch surfing in. And then I lived there and I couldn't take it. And that's a whole nother story. Whoopsies. So yeah, I'm recording on my device, my phone right now. But practically this patching of myself and my career basically felt like he actually was trying to destroy my life, because I'm supposed to be in college, but then he's telling me that I'm supposed to be going to the military for this amount of time, and then he'll figure out how to cover my tuition, and then I can go to college. And it's like, okay, at least I was able to graduate high school, so now I can focus on the next step. And it's like, it's not a big deal if unfortunately you weren't able to just figure out college, but at least you got a high school diploma, because people just unfortunately live different circumstances and financial issues or whatever happening in life that makes it a struggle. And it's like, yeah, I was a little bit neglected here and there. Nothing new in a POC household. Like, come on. It hurts when you're an observer to the point of knowing that I know these people are talking behind my back, and I just have to turn my face and, try to go about it a certain way. Cause I'm used to talking down on myself, cause I know I'm not that intelligent or articulate or as creative. But at the end of the day, I still have an awareness of injustice and identity. I'm used to, I know that even though I haven't gone through certain types of abuse, my nervous system, or your nervous system, if you're going through a certain type of abuse, will lead you to these moments of fight or flight or freeze mode or fawning, just to avoid the trauma, because that's just how your brain is, and it's constantly calculating for your body. And I try my best to avoid being in a meltdown loop, no matter how difficult it is. You cannot necessarily talk abusers out of the abuse that they do. You cannot. And then others will claim that you are overreacting or being weak or too much or a burden. But know that you are brilliant, complex, you feel deeply, and that's what we really need in this world right now. We need some more humanity. And it's like, I don't even know where I'm going to begin with the unpacking of emotional layers, because it's just going to go on and on again, and that's literally not the type of person I'm on. And I don't want to feel invisible or feel like I'm overreacting, because I practically feel alone. And I feel like I'm in survival mode, even though I'm practically sheltered. And my fear is totally valid, because come on now, like, betrayal cuts deep, even especially when you're trying to find your way in this world, and all you have is your voice and yourself. And it's not your fault that you were brought to a place where it was chaos filled, and you just had to be in those moments and figure something out. And I don't want to start spiraling, because I'm not supposed to have this voice, and I'm supposed to just be at this brink of insanity and be forced in a ward. And another embarrassing topic to touch on is the overeating due to stress and emotional regression, as well as being bullied back at school. And I'm going to have to face the same kind of bullies in the real world, in reality, because it doesn't just end at school. The trauma that you go through really eats at you. And it's very easy to get triggered or feel degraded or shamed or controlled. And you have to emotionally stay afloat whilst having no comfort, no privacy, or no real outlet. And your body might always reach out to something that it craves dependency on. Everyone has their own problems. If these walls could talk, you would really know what's going on about someone's place, but it's just you and you alone in your crib, and I don't know what's going on about someone else's crib, and it's really none of my business. I just like to stay to myself. And to any other 18-year-old out there, I know we're basically all panicking. When am I going to get the next check? Because I practically cannot be in debt and freaking homeless. That's practically it. Trying to get used to my new natural look. And I got these new frames. I think it's perfect for college. And practically still when I was in the manic state I was in, I shaved off my eyebrows. They seem to be growing back again. Sometimes the fact that I don't conform into certain spaces, being a female, is just like off-putting to it's off-putting to people with more, conservational ideologies or traditional ways of living. It's like practically my dad will want my ass dead right now just for voicing out certain kinds of opinions. But that's it for today. You can already tell I'm trying not to have a meltdown. Just breathe and figure something out type vibe. And it did not. Anyways, back to the feeling of feeling ransacked by my own father. It's like it did not matter if I defined my boundaries or tried to create a plan for my goals and be focused, or protecting my energy, or trying to find that one person, because it's like I believe that my solitude is important to me and I should be able to cut off certain people from my life. But it's like some people think I should crave dependency on people or on, and it's like, it's just life, and it doesn't come with a guide, and we're all just supposed to figure it out somehow. And it's like my story is being edited just for the mere people to, it's like at this point people are trying to play God in this narrative. Being of ethnic identity, born to an African father deeply rooted in conversationalist ideologies, doesn't care for boundaries. Like when he breached my boundary when I was disposing of menstrual products, and then he went on acting weird and asking me questions about when am I going to have my period and all that, which is really weird because I don't think anyone's father is weird to the point where they're asking about when their daughter has their periods and all that. I practically never knew him except for the fact that, oh, I was just a little like 8-year-old, 9-year-old who fell asleep, and then I just woke up and heard a conversation that, oh, dad and mom are divorced because dad was abusive, so he just got this little big bitch right here who is like, oh, that's why I live with grandma back home. And he goes on to talk terribly about my mom, and every time I wake up, I just think like, why? Why this parent? And it's the way my mom has been open to me about how she's had other people be green flags to her, but she denied their acceptance. I mean, their, was it? Yeah, that thing. And then went on to go with him. And he's the type of person who talks down on your whole family line. That's how toxic he is. He went on to insult my mother and then insult my grandma, who passed away a couple of years ago. And that's when I knew that, fuck, something is so off and I need to get away from him, just like how she got away from him. Because basically that's why he's not in this home with us right now. High school, I know that's where most people peak, but that's practically the start of my mental health being turned up a whole notch. You feel me? I don't think I'm ready to talk about it, and I'm like really tired of therapy. I'm already aware that I'm not even that conventionally attractive, but when I put in the effort, I look pretty good. In this world we live in, basically you already know that the standards is the snow bunny you see up on your screen daily. And the world will not always affirm your skin or your features or your background, your curves, your pain. They're not even willing to hear your voice. Your story is going to be used, it's going to be capitalized off and profited off, and you're going to be mocked. And then on top of that, to my other POC people out there, it's like, your radicality is basically you being a black sheep, and it doesn't matter if you're trying to be representation for someone or speak your truth and use it as your power, because you no longer fit into this mode but fit outside the mode. And I'm tired of having to plan these crisis grounding plans and journaling and all that. It just doesn't seem like me. And I'm broke. I'm trying to figure out if I should have a job soon. I'm sometimes literally on the verge of running away, which my dad gave me like this goat, and he was like, if you want to run away from this house. And I did. And then the only other safe place I know is my mother's house. In fact, the place I was sitting at wasn't even my house. It was a house in the ghetto side of Louisiana, and I was supposed to figure out how to live up there with someone else's kids. It was practically almost traumatic, but I still kept on going, you know, because that is the human experience. It's not like I'm so bougie to the point where if I was put in a situation like that, I wouldn't be humble enough to just stay in there and try to figure out whatever God's plan is for me. But what is going on with my dad? They say he's always tripping about something, and it's odd. Okay. And he's like, I'm trying to transition you into this and that. It's like, bro, it's like I'm practically broken, and then I'm being broken down more. And I don't know, it's just something about family that like they thrive off seeing certain other people in their family um get broken down to the point of insanity, I guess. Okay. And it's like, I don't know if you want me to write out a manifesto or a declaration of what I am and what I stand for. And I feel alone in this space, and it's crazy that I had to be dependent on artificial intelligence just to try to figure some shit out. I mean, first off, my dad was very open about how my mother doesn't claim me and she hates me and this and that. And then I do, and I should regret taking those illicit substances. And it just feels like everything that's going on is all my fault. And I was always supposed to be parent, like my own individual self,